What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans because we believe that we're the most qualified to talk about our favorite sports. And just between you and me, I think that got proved this week. I'm your co host, Isaac.
And I'm Kylie.
I'm 40, and here's Milani.
Yep, she's with us today to celebrate. We got a big episode for you guys today. It's episode 50 of the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. And also, technically the 1 year anniversary when me and Kylie first started this. It's pretty crazy.
Yes, sir, Mike.
Yes,
the
it
big
is.
fellow.
Thanks for tuning in, Mike. Now, before we start today's episode, of course, there's one thing we need to talk about first off, and we're going to get it out of the way now because it is the most important news story of the sports year so far. Obviously, we're all aware of what happened on Monday Night Football and what's going on with Bill's safety, Damar Hamlin. First and foremost, we just want to say that our thoughts and prayers are with him, his family, and all of Bill's Mafia. What happened on Monday Night Football is arguably one of the most terrifying things I have ever seen at any sporting event, and I've watched 3 people die live in motorsports crashes, and even this was more terrifying. It is a testament to the medical professionals of the University of Cincinnati Hospital that he's still alive and he is doing better. We keep getting more and more positive updates and seeing the sports world come together to support him through all sorts of actions, including donating to his toy drive. It's just heartwarming to see because at the end of the day, even though we all have our disagreements and we get into squabbles and sometimes we get rowdy and drunk and punch each other in the stands because we can't stand to see fucking Saints fans. At the end of the day, we're all fucking family here in the sports world. Amen to that.
Amen to that. Yeah, it was unsettling to watch happen, and it's my whole focus has really been on his condition, and as someone with the heart condition, like I want, obviously as a fan, a human being, he's more than a player. He's more than an athlete. He is a son, nephew, brother, etc., etc. This is the human aspect of sports that not many people realize until something like this happens.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. At the end of the day, this is a reminder: sports are dangerous. And the people out there, we may get mad at them sometimes and yell, "You're ruining my fantasy football league," Austin Eckler. But at the end of the day, sorry, I had to get that little dig in. Not the time for that. At the end of the day, they are human, and they're family. As I said before, sports is one big family. We all got each other's back, even if sometimes even if sometimes we get on each other's nerves, we're all each other's family. Except Skip Bayless. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, no, not Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say before we continue to go on to the episode, everybody on air, was Booger McFarland, and specifically that I know because we all love Booger here. They all handled it amazingly. From the reporters to the broadcast room to, what Booger and them do on Monday night. They all handled it very well on the spot with millions of people watching and with the high intense emotional thing that occurred. So they all handled it really well. And that should not be that shouldn't be swept under the rug. And T. Higgins obviously did not intentionally do it.
Yeah, that was kind of messed up that people were blaming. Well, I mean, it is the internet, so
it is the internet, and everybody wants to be big and bold behind a keyboard. But
to add on to what you said, though, Kylie, about the ESPN guys, how they held themselves together and how they were, portraying themselves through the situation and stuff like that. I think the guy who handled himself the best through the situation on TV was Ryan Clark.
Yes.
Ryan Clark was, if anybody listened to what Ryan Clark said, he hit it right on the head. There was guys asking about what happens to the season? What are we going to do about this game? Are they going to go out there and play? Ryan Clark is like, because he could relate to that, when he had that same type of scare when he had that big hit on Willis McGahee.
Yeah.
When, up in Pittsburgh, that cold game in the playoffs or whenever it was. But, he hit it on the head when he says, this isn't about football right now. This is about Hamlin, his family, the Bills, all the fans that were there in the stadium seeing this live happen, all the people that watched it on TV live, seeing it happen. Like, this is about them. This is about making sure Damar Hamlin is not even just in good spirits, but getting healthy and, getting back on his feet and, having the support around him as he gets back to 100% and things like that. So it was like, it's just sad how other guys like Skip Bayless, like Isaac said, were portraying themselves on TV, and they're the guys that have the platform to portray themselves the best for situations like that. And there's only a couple guys who did so.
Right. And one final thing, Mike, it happened during Fired Up's episode, which obviously everybody has to go check out Fired Up, but
yeah,
it happened in the middle of their episode, and he had to maneuver around it and handle it, and that was tough. And
it's an unsettling feeling. A couple years ago during the Daytona 500, a driver, Ryan Newman, some of you listening might recognize that name, had a horrible accident at the final lap coming to the checkered flag. That many of us thought was going to be the first fatal crash in NASCAR since Dale died. And I remember the feelings of that race of being like, holy shit, I just watched somebody die again. Cause I've seen people die in motorsports. That feeling kind of crept back once I got home from work on Monday and, saw my phone blowing up. It was like, what the hell happened to the game? I looked up, I was like, oh shit. So it's, I think sports media world impressed me in a degree in the way they handled this, especially ESPN.
Absolutely.
Obviously Skip Bayless can go fuck himself in the pits of hell, but that's completely different. Look, I'm going to be digging on. Look, Goober of the Week is for Skip Bayless for being a piece of shit, and I'm going to be dunking on him the whole episode. So
you can clearly tell by the amount of Isaac swearing how he feels about it. Isaac always fun to motorsports.
yeah. I'm going to keep doing that until I get my own show. I'm kidding. Anyway, so once again,
one final thing.
Go ahead.
Before we have the final, I will be looking at my phone for updates, and because obviously it's live, today is a day we might be getting some news because of further things happening that happens with the cardiac arrest and further improvements. So
they also should be announcing what they're going to end up doing with the schedule soon, which again isn't really important in the grand scheme of things. But as we get closer to week 18, the NFL is probably going to release the whole thing. And just so we're clear, I think they're going to end up just calling the game a no contest, which it's going to probably impact the playoff features. But at this point, who cares?
At this point, it only really affects the Bills and the Bengals standings as well as the Ravens. So. But they're all in the playoffs. In the grand scheme of things,
it only affects seeding, so it really isn't that important.
Right. So it wasn't, a playoff thing. So it was just seeding. So
I know my fellow Chiefs fans are probably going to be with me on this. This isn't the way we wanted to get the number 1 seed, but again, who cares?
If it happens like this, it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's better to know that Damar Hamlin is safe and recovering. So
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. Once again, guys, thoughts and prayers to Damar Hamlin and his family. Yeah. Let's stick with the NFL, but talk about some of the lighter things that happened in Week 17, because Week 17 was pretty interesting. We had a lot of really interesting stuff. The playoffs have basically all been figured out at this point, with the exception of a few spots left. In the AFC South still has to be decided between the Titans and the Jaguars, and in the final wild card spot is going down between New England, Miami, and Pittsburgh, with the Steelers looking like they might steal it of how they've been playing. In the NFC, it's all down to one last playoff spot, and that is going to either be the Lions, the Seahawks, or the Packers. So, what do we think?
Said last week Washington Packers, and then I said Washington and the Giants. I knew the Packers were getting in there somehow, but I didn't think that we were going to be stupid enough to not be in there. But
here's the thing with that.
I like that last spot for the Packers.
You picked Washington. I picked Washington. Do you really believe that Ron Rivera didn't know that he could be eliminated from this game?
I wanted to speak on that too, and I genuinely think he was being serious in that press conference. Like, the look on his face is like, we can be eliminated? Like, yeah, dude, we can be eliminated. Yeah. Like, are you being serious right now? And it's like, this is the other thing. This is what I was saying to somebody last night, actually. I think what Ron Rivera did last week against San Francisco was absolutely. Am I allowed to cuss on? Yeah, I can cuss all the time. Yeah. I think what Ron Rivera did on last week was absolutely bullshit. We're down. We're down. Well, we're in the game with San Francisco. Then Taylor Heineke has a couple turnovers. They go score. Let Taylor Heineke play the rest of that game out. You don't throw Carson Wentz into the fire down 17 or down 20 or whatever we were and try to make Carson Wentz come back in that game. So then you have two narratives from not only the fans, but from the sports media world. Oh, Carson Wentz this, Taylor Heineke this, but nobody looks back at it as, oh, why did Ron Rivera do that? And it's like he threw both his quarterbacks in the fire in one game for no reason at all. And then on top of that, look what he does again this week. He starts Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz comes out and shits the bed, 3 interceptions. And now he's benching him again. But don't go to the rookie who hasn't played all season, even though we're out the playoffs. Let's go back to Taylor Heineke. Okay. So as a Commanders fan, I really hate to see it. It's stupid. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I genuinely think that he didn't know that we could be eliminated from the press conference. And now at this point, he's just doing shit because it's like, all right, our season's over now, but Carson's not going to be our guy next year, but let's go back to Taylor. But it's like, why go back to Taylor when we already know what Taylor could do? You should have stayed with Taylor this week against Cleveland, because no matter what Taylor did against San Francisco last week, we still had a chance to make the playoffs this week. And Taylor moved the ball better in his 8 games than Carson did in his 5 games. Whether we like to say it or not, he did. So, no, and he scored more points than Carson did in his 5 games. I understand he had 3 more games than Carson did, but he moved the ball and scored more points in those 8 games. He played us number 1 defense in San Francisco last week, and then you take him out and bench him this week against Cleveland when the playoffs are on the line because he had a terrible game last week against the number 1 defense. Like, make it make sense. As much as I want to say as a Commanders fan that we need a franchise quarterback, we need a new fucking head coach too. That guy's an idiot. We need a whole new everything, from the owner to the head coach to the quarterback. The only guys that can stay are Terry, Jahan, and Curtis Samuel. That's it. Other than that, everybody needs to go.
That's my well said. I like that.
And you had a theory, an idea, or a proposal for Washington.
I did.
You want to give that now?
So here it is. If Bezos is the guy that ends up buying this team, I understand it's very slight chance because the Ravens will 9 times out of 10 or 10 times out of 10 probably franchise tag the guy. But if this guy sneaks into free agency, you have the pitch of, hey, I'm not even going to say his name yet. You guys should know who I'm talking about, all the viewers watching. You say, hey, you don't even have to move, Keep your house up there in Baltimore. Come rent a house down here for the year and come play football for us. I got 300 million for you. Bezos has 300 million, just like Walmart got through Russell Wilson 230 million for no whatever reason. Say, hey, I got 300 million for you. Not only do I have 300 million for you, but I have probably, and listen to me closely when I say this. I'm not saying the best receiving core. I'm saying we have probably the best young receiving trio in the NFL. If not the best, top 3, 100%. And you have Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin. Not only that, you have Brian Robinson in the backfield, plus Antonio Gibson. The defense has shown that they can run with anybody in the NFL. The defense has shown that. No matter what team we play with, even with San Francisco, you have to think about it. Those touchdowns, we lost those games by that much because Taylor Heineke was turning the ball over in opponent territory. They're getting the ball right there. Boom, it's easy to score a touchdown. But some of those drives where Taylor Heineke is turning the ball over, they're still getting field goals. So our defense has shown, no matter the injuries, no matter who's out there on the field, no matter what guys out there on the field, Wild Goose, Chase Young, this, that, and the third, we can run with anybody in the NFL. Our offense just can't put up points. The reason our offense can't put up points is we don't have a consistent quarterback. This is where the call plays in. Lamar Jackson, please come down here right now. $300 million. I have this nice receiving core for you. I have this defense that shows that they can play with anybody in the NFL. Come save our team. Let's go win Super Bowls. Because those guys over there in Baltimore, no matter how much you beg, plead, whatever, they have not gotten you a receiving core yet. Your best receiver has been Mark Andrews, your tight end for 5 years of your NFL career. You don't have to have that over here in Washington. Come play for us. That's only if Bezos buys the team, though. If anybody else buys the team, they don't have the same pitch because they don't have Bezos' money. Lamar, if you ever listen to this, listen to me, man. I'm telling you, it could be great. Look, I got my Lamar jersey over there already in Baltimore. It's standing right there. I would go get it right now, but you see I'm occupied. But come over to Washington so I can get the Washington Lamar.
Man, I would hate that. And it scares me because anything's possible, but Bezos has been rumored to be the guy to purchase the team. So not only, Calvin, would you have the richest baseball owner, you'd also have the richest football owner.
I
don't think that's fair.
I honestly don't care who owns the team as long as they keep them in DC and they move them back to the old stadium site. I mean, dude, use them.
Site,
Amazon Stadium. Yeah. Use the money, bulldoze RFK. I mean, build RFK, rebuild RFK, name it RFK, name it Amazon Stadium. There you go. It's in the Amazon Stadium had a historic RFK field.
There you go, something like that.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It was the spiritual home of the Commanders, or I guess back when they were called the other name. It's the perfect site in the city. It's the perfect site in the city.
That's still the name. You can say the other name.
Mike says in the comments, I think Lamar goes to the Jets.
Jets, Jets. I don't think they have a receiving core as convincing as ours. They do have a defense.
They've got a young team. They got a good young team though. I'm kind of sad that they got the only reason that they didn't make the playoffs this year is because their quarterback plays atrocious. So that's really what they need.
But here's the thing: they do have a good young team, but Lamar Jackson has the skill set, the experience, and everything in between of a guy that can win Super Bowls and is in. And if you're a team getting Lamar Jackson, you're saying you are in win now mode.
Yeah.
If for some reason Baltimore does not keep him, you are saying to your franchise, your fan base, and everywhere that you are in win now mode. So I don't think the Jets, while they are very clearly improving, are the team that would be enough to get Lamar Jackson.
Hey, big news! Breaking news! Washington Commanders just announced Sam Howell will be the starter for Sunday.
They must be listening. They must be listening.
They got Sam Howell's going to get the start against the Cowboys.
They must be listening, I swear, because Heineke was the starter earlier.
He was literally the starter about an hour before we went on live. So
also breaking news, the Bucs have announced that for the first time ever, they'll be activating backup quarterback Kyle Trask. Ooh. Our future starting quarterback's finally going to get some reps. By the way, we did it. We won the South, and the Saints got eliminated. We're going to get just annihilated by either Philly or Dallas in the first round, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
If it's Dallas, you got a chance. If it's Philly, you're probably going to get annihilated. I hate to break it to you, but
I don't know what's going on with Philly right now because I'm starting to think the Eagles aren't letting us on how serious Jalen Hurts' injury actually is because he's now missed 2 straight games and they did not look good against New Orleans. Eagles fan, go ahead. I know you have a lot to say. By the way, you disappoint me. Your fucking team was supposed to have one job, and that was to beat the Saints, and you didn't beat the Saints.
One job. They messed up my whole parlay. The only team.
That doesn't matter.
Why are you yelling at me? I have no say in it.
You're the Eagles fan.
I have no say in it.
You lost to the Saints.
I put my trust in Gardner Minshew over Andy Dalton, and he failed me.
Our defense made in the beginning made Andy Dalton look like Peyton freaking Manning, dude.
They did.
Regardless, if anything, these 2 games have showed that Jalen Hurts is clearly the MVP, and he is not a part of some system built by Howie Roseman. He is the system.
It's crazy how much different the Eagles looked without Hurts than with him. And
Very different. But that's also part of Nick Sirianni. Hurts and Minshew are very different quarterbacks. There's a reason the Ravens still have a chance even with Tyler Huntley because Tyler Huntley is similar-ish to Lamar Jackson. Obviously not as good, but he's the same style. Minshew is a pocket passer. That's all he does. Hurts can run, he can throw, he can do it all. So it's very different types of quarterback play styles. We know which one is better, clearly. And so this showed that Hurts is the MVP. But Hurts is going to be playing on Sunday. And if he's not, it's solely because of just resting him, making sure he's good because we already have the playoffs. So,
oh no, why is Nick Sirianni trending on Twitter?
oh god.
Oh, because Nick Sirianni just said that Jalen Hurts is going to participate in practice.
Well, there we go. See, like
I definitely agree with you though on the MVP take because I feel like and it helped me a lot too because I was I don't really like the MVP going to quarterbacks at all. I really think
no,
other guys should have a chance. So I was really big on Justin Jefferson getting the MVP this year. But as far as the quarterbacks, I mean,
he
yeah,
got locked up though.
yeah, he did get locked
He
up
did.
last week.
I
Crazy.
think that killed his chances. If he were to break the single season receiving record, I think they could make a case for him to win it. But I think right now it goes to Patrick Mahomes. I know this season hasn't been very Mahomesian, but by his standards at least, but it's still been
Let
Mahomesian.
let me go back. This is why I say Jalen Hurts. It proved to me the other day because I was on Patrick Mahomes too. I thought Pat deserved it, but the last two games showed me that Jalen Hurts definitely deserves it because when you talk about most valuable player, you're talking about most valuable to your team. And the last two games have showed us that Jalen Hurts is the most valuable to his team. No matter if you have AJ Brown out there, no matter if you have Devontae Smith out there, with Gardner Minshew, yeah, they put up a hell of a fight against Dallas. Yeah, they put up 40 plus against Dallas. That's cool. But that's because Dallas' defense takes a lot of gambles and they're trash.
Yeah. I
But
mean, Diggs is obviously a very good corner.
he takes a lot of gambles.
Yes,
Don't get me wrong, he's a great corner. I love Diggs.
he makes the DMV proud.
Yeah, but he takes a lot of gambles. He reminds me a lot of Marcus Peters. And
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing at
no,
all. Because a
it
lot of those
works.
times they gamble, they win.
Yeah,
But,
he
sometimes
does
they
in that
gamble.
first route.
Yeah, sometimes they gamble and they lose and they get bombed for 80 yards. So
Yep.
it wasn't too impressive that Gardner Minshew put up 40 points against Dallas because the Saints have an actual good defense. No matter how shitty their record is, they have a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, but if you take Mahomes off of the Chiefs, my guess is their offense would really struggle too.
I get that, but I really feel like that with Andy Reid, they can still win a ball game.
Yeah.
I
mean, look what they did with Alex Smith.
And not only that, you can put it to Belichick in New England because look at all those times when Tom was injured, and look at the time that Tom tore his ACL. What's his name? Matt Castle won games. Jimmy Garoppolo was winning games. Jacoby Brissett was winning games. Like, I don't even think that Jimmy Garoppolo lost a game in his New England career.
He didn't.
He didn't, right?
No.
So,
what's up, Isaac?
Update from Zach Taylor. The Bengals will be playing Baltimore on Sunday. So that answers the schedule. So it looks like the Week 18 schedule is going to go ahead as planned. So this is starting. It's starting to trend more towards that Bengals Bills is going to be forfeited.
Yeah, I don't think they should forfeit that one though. I don't think it should go as a loss to the Bills. Yeah.
Now there isn't. This is going to sound really messed up. Once again, before I say this, let me preface this by again saying, at the end of the day, what I'm about to say does not matter at all.
Right.
Okay, I want to make that very clear and not be like some assholes on the internet. Skip. Skip. There is an argument to be made that if the game were to be forfeited, it should go as a win for the Bengals since both teams had a possession and the Bengals were leading 7-3.
Yes.
So there is an argument to be made. Once again, does not matter at all.
No.
The only thing that matters is Damar Hamlin's health.
Yes.
But if the NFL were to forfeit the game, I could see them making that case for giving the Bengals a win, which would suck, but I don't think Bills Mafia really cares at this point.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, you said it right. Like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like if it were to be if it happened to us, wouldn't care.
Yeah, no.
Make sure
And
my guy's all right. That's all.
they really can't, and because of the whole broadcasting situation with Fox having to do not just the Super Bowl but the bunch of big events the very next weekend,
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to want to reschedule the Super Bowl or push everything back because Fox is probably going to be like, "Hey, yo, we can't do all that." So I think most likely it's going to go for a forfeit, which probably is the best. I don't think the players are going to want to go back. With that being said, Pro Football Talk did say something interesting that if that ends up being the case and the Chiefs win the number 1 seed automatically, then Chiefs Bills should be played at a neutral site because it didn't happen, which I actually am for that.
I'm totally for that.
Because those two teams playing in front of their home crowds, like it's always gonna. You want to see the best fucking football game you've ever seen? Put those two on a neutral field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the perfect way to do it if you do give the Bills the loss. And obviously, this is literally the least of the concerns.
Oh yeah, like at the end of the day,
With
like
this
I
being
don't give a shit what happens.
yeah, with this being reported, this is just these are ideas being talked about. Like, but yeah,
Oh, Tom Brady's going to be starting next week.
give me Trask as a Florida Gators fan. Give me Kyle Trask.
Don't give me. Apparently, he'll start. According to Top Bulls, Brady's going to start. Blaine Gabbert will get some reps. Then Kyle Trask might play the fourth quarter. Ugh. Blaine
Interesting.
Gabbert. I don't know. So
Interesting.
let's quickly look at some of the other stuff that happened to the league, and I'll just do this rapid fire. The Titans are continuing to fall. They've now lost 6 straight, which now means that the Jags have moved into first place in the AFC South, and they will have a winner take all on Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun.
I love that.
God, the AFC South is such a disappointing division, and it always has been.
Easy
It's
one.
it's either always been dominated by the Colts or have just been the worst division in football. Younghoe Koo continues to prove that he is one of the most clutch kickers in the league with a last-second walk-off. The Lions take it to Chicago. They're back in playoff form. They just got to beat Green Bay, who obliterated Minnesota. So that game is going to most likely be the final game of the regular season, determining who wins. But all of that's null and void because if Seattle wins against the Rams, Seattle's going. So the NFL basically in their scheduling basically said, this game, most likely you won't be playing for anything because if Seattle beats the Rams, which is very likely, they're in. Looking at some other stuff. Chiefs squeak past the Broncos. Denver has looked good in just 2 games this year, and they've both been against the Chiefs. And now Mahomes has won 18 straight games against Denver. Fun fact, did you know that the Broncos were the first team Mahomes ever played against? Yeah.
I did not know.
Week 17, 2017, Alex Smith and the rest of the Chiefs starters got benched. Patrick Mahomes went into the game, didn't throw any touchdown passes, did rush for a touchdown, and led the Chiefs to a nail-biter win over the Broncos. And that's how the legend started. He loves playing that team. The Dolphins have now lost 5 straight games, promoting the Patriots to the final playoff spot. The New York Football Giants have clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2016 and broken the curse of the boat. You gotta love to see it. Love to see it, except for Eagles fans. I'm so sorry.
Tweet from the Bills. Damar remains in the ICU in critical conditions with signs of improvement noted yesterday and overnight. He is expected to remain under intensive care as his healthcare team continues to monitor and treat him. So that's pretty much what we know. But yeah, hopefully he keeps improving.
I think he will. I think that the fact that we haven't seen anything negative tells me that. I mean, the thing that he suffered, the commodio cordis that he suffered, the best way to get a leg up on preventing that from being fatal is to have an AED on staff, and that's exactly what the medical personnel at Paycor Stadium had. They had an AED, so the fact that they were able to do that to restart his heart, like that is crucial. They did that, so ever since then it's been trending upward. So that's good.
Yeah.
Once again, Our hearts are with you, Damar. Keep fighting, man.
1,000.
So let's quickly go over to our game picks for week 18. Our final week of game picks. By the way, did we post this yet or no?
Yeah.
What, the picks?
There.
The picks?
Oh, wait, hang on. Mike has something to say real quick. Real asshole move by Thibodeau. Yeah.
Yes, I forgot about that.
We're going to talk about that. Dude, I understand that you made a big sack and you like blew the guy up, but like, dude, don't celebrate next to an injured player. That's classless.
Yeah, absolutely. And normally I would be like, okay, he didn't, he didn't see it, but he literally was like 5'6" snow angels deep.
How did
with
you not
the
see
medic-
that, man?
And he looked over, and then the medical team was right there, and he did like the go to sleep. Like, nah,
Honestly, he probably didn't know that he had hurt him, but still, like,
not at
dude,
the
like,
beginning. Like, I can see the beginning
Yeah.
for sure, but to continue it after, like, come on.
it's like, come on, bro, you're not making a good name for yourself there. Anyway, week 18, the final week of the regular season, and what has been a very, honestly, kind of odd season of football. It's been really good, but there's also been a lot of real meh too. But we got one last week to go. Last week, the winner was yours truly.
Mm.
Mike adds in, even if he didn't see it, he did the go to sleep gesture on the side. Yeah, he did. So
He did do the sleep gesture. That's what. Yeah.
not
he
making a
knew.
good name for himself. Overall standings so far, I continue to lead the way at 162 wins, 93 losses. Get on my level. Alvin is second, 131 and 100, and Kylie 147, 108. So Kylie, you can all you need, Kylie, are 9 victories, and you can beat Calvin in the standings.
Yeah, I'm sweeping.
Anyway, let's take a look at our picks. So our picks have already been made, but we're still going to explain them. So
We haven't posted the picks yet, though.
we haven't though. Yeah. Okay. So we
But
can.
shout out to Marley for doing the.
But yeah,
She's
we
awesome.
have a new graphics person. Kylie, it's your friend Marley, right?
Twitter mutual, yeah.
Twitter mutual, yeah. Shout out to Marley for making our graphics picks, and coming on board to help us out. That's gonna be a lot of fun. So starting off week 18 with our Saturday matinee games, we've got the Chiefs taking on the Raiders. The Chiefs trying to lock up the AFC's number 1 seed. I think we're all on Team Chiefs here, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been a weird season for the Chiefs. Honestly, it's felt like people haven't been paying enough attention to them. Oh crap! They've gotten into the Patriots cycle. You know what I'm talking about, right? No, the Patriots cycle of they're so good, we all expect them to be good, so we don't pay attention to them.
I think it's also because Tyreek Hill left, so the prospect of them just kicking ass with Tyreek Hill is gone. So people just kind of, I don't know. Plus, doing this well is part of the course for the Chiefs lately. So it's a combination of that, I would say.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree with Kylie. I don't think people look at it as electrifying.
Yeah.
Because there's not that electric there anymore. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce together were two of the craziest receiving combos with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Moving on to our Saturday night game, the battle for the NFC South, Titans-Jags. Winner wins the division, loser goes home. Who you got?
Duval.
Jacksonville is probably going to lose in the first round, but my God, they're playing good football right now. I like what I'm seeing out of Jacksonville. Yeah. Moving on to Sunday's early games. The way the NFL always schedules this, usually the early games are the ones that don't have anything to do with the playoffs, but they didn't do this year for some reason, so we'll see what happens. But
Titans could either make the playoffs or get a top 10 pick. Yeah, they could.
Oh,
it sounded like a couple years ago with the NFC East.
Yeah. Starting things off with the early games, Buccaneers versus the Falcons. Tampa, nothing to play for. They've already clinched the division, and give me the Bucs.
Give me Atlanta.
Why is that, Kylie?
Because I don't think the starters are going to be playing much, and I think they're just going to try to be playing healthy, and the Falcons are just going to play. So I think it's just going to be like that.
I don't think Tom Brady wants to have a losing record for the first time in his career, so I think he's going to tell the team, "You assholes better win me this game," because they're 8-8. They're not going to the playoffs 8-9. Calvin, who you got?
I got as long as 12's back there starting the game. I like the Bucks.
Right, all right. This one is going to be an interesting one. Patriots, Bills. The Patriots, a win, and they make the playoffs. They currently have the 7th seed in the NFC. They could do it. They're going to be facing a Buffalo team that, depending on what ends up happening, if this game goes ahead as scheduled, this is a Buffalo team that is it's going to be an interesting Buffalo team to watch.
It is. High emotions could go either way.
And all I'm going to say is this: I am so sorry to the Patriots, but you guys are probably getting you guys are getting curb stomped. When a team rallies around one of its players and it goes out and plays a game for them, which probably the Bills will end up doing, because that's the kind of the messed up reality of pro sports, their opponent doesn't end up very well. So I'm so sorry, New England, but you are getting annihilated.
Wait, what's the matchup?
Buffalo, New England. Now, Calvin, in the picks, you said the Patriots were going to win this one.
Oh yeah, Buffalo has nothing to play for next week.
They kind of do, but
in the Patriots, they want to get into the playoffs. So, I don't know. I like Bill the last week of football.
I can see something like that happening though.
Yeah.
Did the Bills beat them the first time, right?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna split, and it's in New England this time.
It's in Buffalo.
Oh, in Buffalo, I still like New England.
Just be warned, Patriots. That crowd's gonna be hostile, and I mean really hostile.
Yeah, no, maybe.
Well, maybe Bills fans. Bills fans are. I gotta be careful with my words here because
I love Bills fans, dude.
Bills fans are an interesting bunch in that they're some of the most loyal fans on the planet, but they're also mentally crazy.
Yeah. Bills fans, they're actually very nice people, but they are they're missing a little bit of something up here because
they're
I don't know.
Passionate.
This is nothing against Bills fans, man. They're just y'all are passionate.
I love them. I love Bills fans.
All right, Vikings, Bears. Vikings are really have nothing else to play for. They're playing a Bears team that's lost 9 straight games. Minnesota.
Make it straight. Make it 10 straight. I like Minnesota.
Yeah.
Texans versus the Colts. The two teams have already been eliminated from the playoffs. Texans go for the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. They ruined the tank. I say the Texans win. The way the Colts have been playing recently. Fuck out of here. Texans are going to win that game.
I don't even remember who I picked.
You got the Texans too.
Oh yeah, I'm staying with the Texans.
We all picked. I picked the Colts.
Yeah, you picked the Colts. You want me to just name out the picks so we don't forget because I have them here.
No, I have them here too.
I think I remember. Yeah, no, actually, I got the thing right in front of me because Kylie sent it last night.
So we all have them.
I'm just saying the Texans. This is the game that opened the season for these two teams, and they tied. Houston's got unfinished business.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably lose the number 1 overall pick to the Bears? Probably, but at this point, the Bears don't need a quarterback, so
I was
don't worry.
Gonna say, but here's the thing, though. I guess they obviously don't need a quarterback, but it's gonna be interesting for the 2nd and 3rd picks and stuff.
Jeff Saturday is terrible.
Yeah.
Jets Dolphins. Miami trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. They got to be the Jets team that just got eliminated. And I say, hell no, the Dolphins are screwed. Give me the Jets.
Jets.
I think I picked the Dolphins. I'm going with the Dolphins.
Yeah.
You did.
Panthers taking on the Saints. Yeah, you guys know how I feel about the Saints. Hang on, wait. You guys tell me who you're rooting for real quick while I set this up.
Panthers. Need that draft pick.
I'm going Panthers.
I hate the Saints. And in the last game of the season, I would like the Saints to get to double-digit losses. For that reason,
At Domino's,
God damn it! Why is there an ad longer than the video? Hold on. Okay. Blah 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 blah. Random things about the Saints. Random bad things about the Saints. Random bad things about the Saints. All right, you guys know my opinion about the Saints. They're going to go to double-digit losses. Go Panthers, baby. Did we pick that up?
You did all of that just for that?
Yeah. Yeah. Laugh all you want. All right, moving on to the late games.
Oh,
These are
God.
the super important games. So up first, Browns Steelers. Pittsburgh needs a win and losses by the Patriots and the Dolphins to make the playoffs, and I think it's going to happen. This Steelers team, dread it, run from it, just like James Stroh's. This Steelers team is coming for you.
Steelers.
Steelers.
Chargers taking on the Broncos. Chargers can take the fifth seed in the top wildcard team with a victory and a Baltimore loss, and I think they will because it's the Broncos.
Wait, the Broncos? Oh, yeah, Broncos.
Why are you taking the Broncos, Kylie? Explain.
I don't know.
Why you gotta do
Going
like
with the
that?
Chargers.
All right, Giants, Eagles. Eagles need a win to clinch the number 1 seed and the division, which is still up for grabs because they've lost 2 straight. They're playing a Giants team that just clinched a playoff berth. Give me Philly.
Hurts is playing the Giants. Give me Philly. Please.
Calvin also said Philly.
Give me Philly.
There he is.
Please, 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 please.
Cardinals, 49ers. San Francisco can actually clinch the number 1 seed with losses by both Philly and Minnesota. And since they're playing a Cardinals team that's onto their 4th string quarterback and David Blau, I will take the 49ers to win in a landslide.
I like 49ers.
Yeah, he picked the Niners.
Rams, Seahawks. This
I
might
actually have it on my phone right here. I'm just making it interesting for the people.
Yeah. Rams Seahawks is probably going to be one of the most interesting games of the year to watch because if the Seahawks win, they clinch a playoff berth and eliminate the Packers and Lions, which would mean that Sunday night's game is irrelevant. You see what the problem is here? Actually, no. If they win, they eliminate the Lions. Packers would need to win to get in because I forgot the Packers beat the Seahawks. So, I believe the Lions are getting that playoff spot. So give me the Rams to win.
I picked Seahawks, but I do want the Rams to win. I want the Lions to make it.
Give me the 12th man.
Cowboys and Commanders. Dallas trying to clinch both the number 1 seed and the NFC East, and they can do that with a win against a Washington team that has been unfortunately eliminated. I'm going with Big D to get it done. I don't think they win the division, but I think it's going to happen.
As much as I hate to say it, I'm going with the goddamn Cowboys, man.
With Sam Howell, I don't know. I picked the Cowboys, but I would not be surprised of an upset.
That might change my perspective on things. But as of right now, I'm rocking with Dallas, even though I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Our final game of the entire season. Lions, Packers, winner take all, depending on what happens with the Seahawks game. And I think Detroit is going to win this game and make the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm picking Detroit.
Cheeseheads.
We have the Ravens game too.
Yeah, our final game. So this game doesn't have a time scheduled yet, but Zach Taylor did confirm in his press conference a few minutes earlier in the show that the game is going ahead on Sunday, which means the NFL is probably keeping the schedule as planned. This game will determine the winner of the AFC North, most likely, although depending on what the NFL does with the outcome of Buffalo and Cincinnati's game, that could already be wrapped up. Well, I'm just going to say it. The Ravens are falling apart. Give me Cincinnati.
Give me Baltimore.
Long as 8's out there, which he will be this week, give me Baltimore.
Yeah.
I think you said that last week, and Tyler Huntley started.
Yeah, but this is the biggest. This is a big game right here. This is for that division.
Yeah.
8 be out there.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize they were playing Cincinnati this week. If I would have known that, then I wouldn't have said what I said last week. If I would have known that, I would have known they were resting Lamar.
The sad thing is, if the Ravens haven't been falling so hard in recent weeks, this would be the Sunday night season finale because this game would have been huge. But unfortunately,
we gotta rapid fire the rest.
Yeah, because we got about 15 minutes left. So what do we want to? Let's start with baseball because we can knock that out really quickly.
Yep.
So Orioles have acquired first baseman Ryan O'Hearn from the Royals for cash. Baltimore's got something good going on there. They're building something.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's a low level thing. They got to do more.
Dominic Smith agrees on a 1-year deal with the Nationals. Good for them. They're going to be tanking so hard. The Red Sox and Rafael Devers agree to a 1-year, $17.5 million deal. The Tigers acquire infielder Tyler Nevin from the Orioles for cash. Oh, he went to the Tigers. Oh, look, I like Tyler. The Orioles are, even though my team plays in the same division, I kind of like the Orioles, man. You know, they're the hard luck team.
They are. As for the NBA.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing on the MLB. If you guys haven't watched already, go watch Bell Smashers podcast. I don't know if you guys know, but it's run by some great people, and then this one like angry blonde girl who always yells about how the Phillies suck. I'm kidding.
That was funny.
Seriously, go watch Bell Smashers. And by the way, shout out to Drunk Abroad who joins the Fired Up Sports Podcast Network.
Yes.
Yeah, they had their 100th episode recently.
It's today.
Oh, fun.
Tonight at 8:30. So you guys should check that out.
All right, NBA. Giannis drops career high 55 points, but who cares? Spider-Man dropped 71.
He did.
71 points is insane.
71.
And like, no offense to Giannis or anyone else who had big weeks, but like, man, shut up. Like, Donovan Mitchell dropped 70 points, 71 points.
It's a career high for both of them.
What's and again, sports is the least mattered thing in that situation, but it happened the same night as the Damar Hamlin thing. So
yeah,
Spider's 71 didn't really get the recognition that it should have gotten. And like I said, sports is way less important than the situation that did happen.
Yeah.
But I got to give my props to that guy, man. 71 points is crazy. We haven't seen anybody do that since Devin Booker. I mean, Luka put up 60 the other night, but 71 points in a game is absolutely insane. Yeah, I understand it took overtime to get there, but hey, that's
still 71.
That's 10 points from Kobe. So, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
I think
shout out to Spider.
Yeah, all time.
And shout out to him for recognizing the situation with Damar Hamlin. So that was
yeah,
cool.
Definitely. And exactly. That was another beautiful thing as well. He recognized that situation after he just dropped 71. He didn't even make it about him. So it's like he didn't even give it himself that recognition, which, I mean, people shouldn't give themselves recognition anyway, but like that was a great performance by him. It's sad that it happened on an unfortunate night.
It is the 10th. It's the 10th highest single game scoring performance in NBA history.
Most points in Cleveland. Most points by a player in Cleveland history, though, in a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
LeBron only scored 61.
Only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe in Cleveland it was 57. I think in Miami it was 62.
Yeah. It was something.
But
by the way, I'm looking at the list of the all-time single game leaders in point scoring. Can you guys guess how many times Wilt Chamberlain shows up in the top 10?
3. 5.
5. He's got the first, third, fourth, fifth.
Where's the film on
seventh?
This guy?
Well, the 100-point game took place in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's something people don't need to realize. Back in the old days of the NBA, in order to get fans from other parts of the country, they would hold games not just at their home arena, but at other arenas in smaller places. That game was played at the Hershey Arena at Hershey Park.
So
Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points at a chocolate factory.
So if I talk to somebody that was at that chocolate factory that day, they're gonna tell me this man scored 100 points. 100 points.
Yeah.
No 3-point line, no nothing. You're telling me man got 40% at the free throw line, his career, scored 100 points? No way. The highest scoring to me is Kobe Bryant, 81. I seen that on the film with my own 2 eyes. I watched him drop the 81 points. I've never seen this man score 100 points. I've never even seen film of Wilt Chamberlain. Never.
You've never seen film of Will?
Never.
Dude, Wilt Chamberlain film is so funny to watch. He's just there's no one on the court who could guard. All the other players are like, man, this guy, man, Jenkins, this guy, because they were all white back then. Man, Jenkins, this guy, I don't know what he's doing. I can't block him. I simply can't block him. It's the funniest thing. He looks so out of place in that era of basketball.
One of you guys send me Will Chamberlain film in the group chat right now because I've never seen it.
Some unfortunate news though, Zion Williamson is out at least 3 weeks with the hamstring injury he got when he was playing the Sixers. It was weird. It also happened on Monday night. But it was weird because he was just kind of like doing a normal basketball move and he just pulled it.
Freak accident, man.
Yeah.
All right, you hate to see it. The Pelicans have been doing so good this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of basketball, just really want to say this. So for my birthday this year, I got tickets to a game. Hey, if we got any fans in the Washington D.C. area who want to meet an actual member of the Beer Battered Sports crew, hit me up. March 4th for Raptors at Wizards. I'll be at that game. My dad got me tickets for me and him for my birthday, so we're going to see two teams that are fighting for where are they in the standings right now?
Boo the Raptors for me. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Kelly Oubre is set to undergo hand surgery tomorrow, so he'll probably be out for a while. I don't remember how long he's out. Clay dropped 54. So
I'm still here. I'm just changing the diaper.
It's okay. It's okay. See, that's what we call, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we call the modern father. You know, changing his daughter's diaper during work. He doesn't let anything get in his way.
Right.
Hell yeah. But yeah, Clay dropping 54. Who cares? Spider-Man dropped 71. We've already been over this. Your career highs don't matter. 71 points were scored in the game.
The Nets are on a 12-game win streak, and the Mavericks are on a 7-game win streak. Both teams are playing out of their mind right now.
One of those things makes me want to vomit.
Yep, same. Quickly go through the standings. For the East, Boston leads it. Then it's Brooklyn, then Milwaukee, Cleveland, Philadelphia.
Boston for a second.
What about Boston?
About what they did last night and that horrible performance.
Oh yeah, they got
no Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and they lose by 30 to the Thunder.
Yep.
What happened?
They didn't have SGA, and they lost by 30 to the Thunder.
Ew.
It's beautiful. Screw Boston. But yeah, so it's Boston, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Philly, Indiana. So that's your definite playoff. And then for the play-ins, it's Miami, New York, Atlanta, and Washington. So if the season ended at 38 games, which it doesn't, but if it did, it would be Miami and New York, the Knicks, playing each other. The winner of that game plays Brooklyn for a series. And then, so please be New York. Sorry, Isaac. And then the loser of that game plays at the winner of Atlanta and Washington. And then the winner of that game gets the 8th seed and plays Boston. And then just missing the playoffs is the Chicago Bulls, then Toronto, then Orlando, then Charlotte, then Detroit.
So you mean to tell me that the game I'm going to is going to be between two teams that only one of them is too bad? Why do they both have losing records, man?
Those are fun to watch. I love Kyle Kuzma.
No, I love going to basketball games in general. I'm not gonna play. I'm being a bitch about it.
And then so heading over to the West, at 1 is Denver, then Memphis, then New Orleans, then Dallas, then Sacramento, then the Clippers, then Portland, then Phoenix, then Golden State, and then Utah.
Yes. So, my fellow Timberwolves enthusiasts are getting hungry looking at that, seeing Utah fall into their grasp.
Yeah. So it would be Portland, Phoenix, Golden State, and Utah in the play-in. So Portland and Phoenix would play each other for the 7th seed, and the winner of that game plays Memphis. The loser of that game plays the winner of Golden State and Utah, and then those two would battle for the 8th seed, and the winner of that plays Denver for a series. So I may just be hating, but the 8th seed has an easy road to the second round of the playoffs.
Kylie, you gotta let it go.
No. And then just missing the playoffs is expectedly Minnesota, then Oklahoma City, and then the Lakers, and then San Antonio, and then Houston. So that's the standings there.
All right.
Yeah, let's quickly go over to the NHL. Finish it up.
All right, so time for Isaac's Hockey Corner. So, NHL, let's quickly go over what's going on. In the Atlantic Division, Boston still reigns supreme with a 9-point lead over Toronto for first place. Toronto basically is in a race by themselves for second. Third place in the wild card spot has come down between Tampa Bay and Buffalo. Tampa's got a 9-point lead, so everything is kind of spacing themselves out. By the way, shout out to Buffalo. A day after Damar Hamlin's injury, Buffalo, the Sabres beat the Capitals 4-3 in overtime. There was a disturbing number of threes in that game. It's almost as if it was meant to be because that's Damar Hamlin's number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So Buffalo looking good. They moved into a wild card spot. Remember, they haven't made the playoffs since 2010. Longest drought in the NHL. Could end. Detroit and Ottawa are 1 point behind Buffalo each. Ottawa finally starting to get some life. Florida. What the hell happened to Florida? They are only 2 points out of the wild card spot, but they've suddenly fallen to second to last in the division. And Montreal, they still have a chance too. They're 7 points back in the wild card, but it's all tightening up for that wild card spot in the Atlantic. In the Metropolitan, Carolina has firmly solidified themselves as the leader of the division. New Jersey is struggling, but they are, they're trying. They're trying. New Jersey holds on to second place by 1 point over the Rangers and the Caps, who are tied for third place. Just outside looking in for the wild card spot are the Islanders, who technically would get the wild card spot over the Sabres based on overall points. So that's something to think about.
So before you continue, shout out Mike. He sent me the tweet. So it was 3 goals. Or I don't know how to say his last name. I'm still learning hockey.
Is it Finnish?
It's TH, I think. I don't know. I don't want to sound stupid.
It's okay. We all butcher names on this channel.
But he had 3 goals, so a hat trick. It's the 3rd hat trick of the season, the 30th goal of the season. Winner was 3 minutes into overtime.
See, if this isn't case for a divine power in the world of sports, I don't know what is.
Right?
So, yeah. Shout out to the Sabres for giving Damar Hamlin a fitting tribute in that win.
Yeah. And to continue,
shut up, Mike.
There is also another tweet from Adam Schefter. NFL executive Jeff Miller said discussions about what to do with the Bills-Bengals game are ongoing. He knows they have to make a decision on it in the coming days, but NFL executive Troy Vincent explains that the league's focus has been on Damar Hamlin. So it looks like literally everybody except Skip Bayless is handling this perfectly with the human aspect of it in mind.
It's almost as if Skip Bayless is, Exactly. What she said. Talk that talk. Talk that talk.
That's what we're saying. See, she knows.
Looking at the rest, so back to hockey. Looking at the rest of the Metropolitan, Pittsburgh on the outside, looking in for the wild card spot, and then way in the back, the Phillies and the Blue Jackets.
The Flyers.
Did I say the Phillies? I meant the Flyers. Jeez,
yeah, that's a disappointing Philly team. Don't mix this in with
if the playoffs were to start today, the Atlantic representatives would be Boston, Toronto, and Tampa. The Metropolitan representatives would have been Carolina, New Jersey, and the Rangers. And the wild card teams would be Washington and the Islanders.
Yeah. There you go.
New Jersey would play the Rangers, just letting you know, Kylie.
Give me it.
Meanwhile, in the West, Dallas and Winnipeg continue to fight fiercely for the Central Division. Minnesota is starting to creep up on them. Colorado is clinging on to the 4th place by just 2 points over St. Louis. Nashville is still in the conversation for that as well, as are Arizona in a little bit. Arizona, there's a chance. There's not a chance for Chicago, who are now officially the worst team in the league with just 20 points at this point in the season. Haven't even gotten over 10 wins. That's bad. In the Pacific, Vegas has a 4-point lead over the Kings for the first spot. Seattle has dropped off a bit, but they're still holding on to third by just 1 point over Calgary. There's only 2 points separate Calgary, Edmonton, and Seattle for third place in the playoffs and the wild card spot. Vancouver and San Jose are way back from those guys. And Anaheim, well, it's Anaheim. And Mike is taunting us in the comments. Well, taunting you, Kylie. Devils have been in a real slump lately. It'd be a real shame if they missed the
What up,
playoffs.
Mike?
So for the West wild card, the playoff representatives from the Central would be Dallas, Winnipeg, and Minnesota. Pacific would be Vegas, Kings, and go Kraken. And the wild card teams would be Calgary and Edmonton. So if the playoffs were to start today, your playoff matchups in the East would be Washington versus Boston. Let me double check. New Island, Boston versus Islanders, Toronto versus Tampa, New Jersey versus the Rangers, and Washington versus Carolina. And in the West, the playoff games would be, one second, let me pull it up. They would be Vegas versus Edmonton, Calgary versus Dallas, Winnipeg versus Minnesota, and Los Angeles versus Seattle.
Damn, we designated Francisco Morales for assignment. That sucks.
Yeah. One last thing before we wrap things up, guys. Remember, our goober of the week is, of course, Skip Bayless. And it always will be. Rob Manfred is off the hook. He's no longer our permanent goober of the everything. It's now Skip Bayless, and it always will be.
Not sponsored by Skip. Nah, let's not give that idiot more attention.
Yeah, I mean, Jamel Hill put it best. He says these things so people will tune in and watch his show. So if you just don't watch his show, that sends a message. And it's like, just ignore him.
Yeah.
Still fuck Skip Bayless.
Yeah. Yes, but that ends this week's episode of the Beer Battered Sports Podcast. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We hope Damar Hamlin is going to be okay. It looks like he is improving, so that's fantastic. As always, screw Skip Bayless and Rob Manfred, the ever forever. And merch is in the link in our bio. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of it at @BB_Sports_pod or Beer Battered Sports Podcast for Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. But yeah, we will see you guys next week.
Peace, everybody.
Peace out.